I see you, bitch.
Hi, I'm Jana Pokop, and my friend Alexander Doust and I love new music, and also good cocktails. Welcome to Mixomusicology, a nerdy show about both. It'll work like this. Every episode, we'll break down a set of recently released songs, or a full album if a big one just dropped, and talk about what works for us, what doesn't, and the broader landscape that music sits in, both in terms of pop culture and in terms of how the song was made. Each week, we'll also make a themed cocktail that, if you're following along on our Substacks, you can make with us. Listen along every week with our companion playlist, available down below in the show notes.
This week, Charli XCX, Persona, Amy Shark, The Biggest Dick, and Rose Gray, Just Be Bodies. There's a real benefit to limitation in terms of art. My work and the work of other smaller artists has always fundamentally been limited by finances. The sonic palette I've developed lives in the crosshairs of what I find interesting and what I can afford. Many artists have a wider palette. Charli XCX, who we're discussing today, has nearly infinite resources at this point when she's making an album, bolstered by, and in conversation with, the runaway success of releases like Brat. Certainly Gracie Abrams, who we discussed last week, does too. But I wonder if art suffers when the tools become limitless. Albums I hear from big artists that have maybe too much money behind them sometimes feel bloated and overproduced. I think about Christina Aguilera's 2010 album Bionic as a good example of this. It came out around the same time as Lady Gaga's Fame Monster. Both albums share a sonic palette borrowed from older Europop and electronica. Both feature powerhouse vocals, albeit in different ways. And yet, Fame Monster, from an artist who had a lot to prove at the time, feels infinitely more timeless than Bionic. When's the last time you listened to Keeps Getting Better? If it were paparazzi, I bet you might have a more concrete answer. I visited the Guggenheim recently, which was showing an exhibit of an artist named Carol Bove. Across the entire exhibit, which spanned decades of her career, I counted no more than 6 materials used, not counting paint or pencil. They were wood, iron, seashells, paper, brass, and peacock feathers. Her work is tangled and hard to parse, but it's fundamentally all built from the same stuff, telling stories about materiality, fragility, and gravity. I think the collection I saw would have meant a good deal less without those very conscious limitations. Maybe it's harder to derive meaning from a wider range of variables. Charli XCX is a master at the craft, but my first listen to her new album, Music, Fashion, Film, had me wondering, is art less meaningful when there are no boundaries constraining the artist? I don't have an answer quite yet. My second listen was much more rewarding. I'm very excited to discuss it tonight, though. Hi, Jana.
Hi, Alex.
What's the hardest limitation you've ever faced in your artistry?
Oh, man. That's a question. I was listening. I'm like, I have so many things to say. And then that question popped
Hell yeah. If it's just money, that's okay too. Because for me, it's money.
Yeah, money is a great answer. Sometimes, I think since I'm old, no, I'm not that old, but I think things have opened up so much now in terms of how people communicate and connect in the online world that I would say previously it was kind of like access to cool people to work with. And I think,
Sure.
not to say there weren't cool people to work with, they were just in your local area and you found the cool people and you worked with them. And then I'm thinking about my record, The Astronaut, and we were recording it in 2020 when everyone stayed home and got their home studio shit together, even the super pros. And so I got to ask crazy cool people. Like it seemed like my limits became only contained by who I was brave enough to ask to play on the record, as opposed to, well, he doesn't live in Austin or I don't know her, that kind of thing. So that was interesting. And that's a funny thing that just popped into mind, but money too.
It can be both.
Yeah. Maybe bravery. Maybe the ultimate answer to that is my bravery of like, do I have the guts to ask the people I really want to work with me,
Well, it's funny. I feel like There's this thing where there are a million artists who I know and respect really deeply. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, they would never want to do anything with my art, right? Like, there's no reason that they would want to work with me, which
See,
is
and I would counter that. Yeah.
it's maybe a little silly, but the internal
I
monologue
understand.
is hard and strong. And I have had conversations with some of these people, and they're like, "No, we think you're too cool for us."
Mm,
And so it's
which
this
is
give and
true.
take where everybody feels that way,
Yeah,
and it's just silly, and we should just talk about it more.
it really is. And most artists that are doing it for art's sake just want to work with other artists.
They just want to
It's
have
not,
fun. They want to
yeah,
collaborate. Yeah,
totally. And the ones where you hit a wall, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But speaking of what you're talking about with limitless options, I was just working on a track for someone today, paging through so many different synths in a plugin, and I was like, this is what I'm getting paid for, is to pick the synth. Like, I could pick one of 300 synths. The artist shouldn't do that. I'm like, it sounds ridiculous, but that's part of the gig, is like choosing and choosing well, but just making a choice, you know?
I think a good producer is a good curator.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I mean, if you're a producer who uses splice, I think it has to do with samples. If you're somebody who is working with synths, I think it's
Right.
equally as important. Yeah, you just need to know what sounds good with what voice and with, what
Totally.
other parts of the palette exist. Yeah.
What is needed right here, and how do I call that, and then which one is the right one? And I could have sat there for 4 hours and was like, I don't have time for that. But no one wants that. I'll say one more thing. I was reading Gordon Ramsay's autobiography years ago, and I took a piece that I'm probably misquoting from him, but he was talking about components on a plate, and he's like,
Sure.
three tops. Like, and I'm not saying there's only three things in my dish, but three main components that are speaking. If you have more, it's too complicated. And I think about that in a lot of ways. Production for sure,
Hmm.
but sometimes just life. Three is a nice number to be like, stop there. You don't need six. I don't know.
I was just talking about this earlier with a friend where it's like, I have no illusions about being a great artist or the best artist or anything like that, right? I think I am a competent instrumentalist.
Hmm.
And that's about the extent of it. But where I think I do really well is I am a good editor. I am a good subtractor.
Totally.
And so it's, if there's a million things that are recorded, I can pare it down to like, I don't know, from a million, maybe 100.
Yeah. To-
and and have that work.
which is a huge cut and takes a lot of time.
It's a
Good
huge
job.
cut. Thank you. Yeah.
I love doing that with words too. I was gonna say writing, I don't like editing while I write, but then I love sitting there after and be like, slice, dice, get it out.
What I've learned from working with a million different people is that everybody could do a little bit less.
Ah, that's the point
Yeah.
that's our point. Done.
Jenna, how was your week?
Oh my God. It's funny. Guys, we're on a journey. I had a wonderful trip to New York. Alex and I hung out. My friend Jamie and I uh, got up there. JetBlue bedamned. They canceled our red eye, but we made it the next day, which was actually probably good. I think we
Mm,
were less tired because of that move. But we saw all kinds of things. We went to MoMA. We went to Coney Island. We ate bodega sandwiches, and we met up with Alex in Midtown after we saw Oh Mary and Megan
mm-hmm.
Stalter rocket. And
Went
then
to
we
two
got to go
very
over
loud bars.
loud bars. One in a subway station, which made me feel really cool. You had to know where it is, and which entrance.
Yes.
And then you so kindly made us dinner and cocktails, and that was a really delicious cocktail. Not something that's been
Oh,
on the pod.
no, it wasn't. But that's okay. I made a little spiced hibiscus simple syrup and put it
Mm,
with some pisco, which is the basis for the drink tonight, which is why I had pisco.
it was great. It was so good. And then the last day I threw out my back, which I was telling Alex, don't get old, but
Hmm.
so I've been just nursing that. Somehow, through the grace of the human body knowing it needs to do something, I made it through the subway to air train to JFK to the plane to home, and I was like, it's okay. And then I woke up Monday morning like I could not walk. So we're doing okay. I'm sitting up, I'm ice packing. I can't drink tonight, so this is gonna be funny. Alex is gonna describe this drink so well that we're all gonna taste it. But
I
anyway,
am I am very, very glad that you're taking care of yourself now. You told me all
you
of that, and
know,
I was like, why did you go through all of that?
I don't know. I thought about getting a cab, and then the cab was $100, and I guess I value $100 over my bag. That's sad. Anyway, so funny
Man.
the choices we make in the moment. I'm fine. It's gonna be okay. This happens to me like once a year, but we're doing okay. Alex, how was your week before we get into this drink,
My week was okay. A lot of my week was ideating about the meal I was going to cook you and your friend Jamie.
which was incredible.
But there was some Hitchcock watching in there, and that was
Yeah,
fun. There was some creative work, and I really, really enjoyed that. It was a big week for music, and so I got to listen to a lot of cool things, some of
it
which we're
is.
talking about now.
Right. It's weird how that the releases ebb and flow, and they're flowing right now, which is fun.
Yeah, speaking of last week was kind of a slow week for music, at least for us, where
Hmm.
both of us kind of struggled to come up with stuff that we loved and wanted to talk about.
Right.
But this week, we had
Here
to
we
really
are.
narrow it down a little bit. Yeah.
That's right.
Um, so I guess before we get to the music, Jana, can I talk about the drink that you're not going to have?
Absolutely. I'm drinking a tonic bitters cherry juice situation. So,
Which, if you want a mocktail, right? Tonic and bitters is the best one. Everything else can go to hell.
you taught me that. Yes.
It's truly, I didn't know that I taught you that, but like tonic and bitters feels like a cocktail, has the complexity of a cocktail, is not technically 0% ABV, but is as close as possible, less than a kombucha, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, and it's just great. Like I just have those sometimes.
It's refreshing and it's hot here and I feel good about it. I wish I was having what you're having though, so tell us about it.
So this drink, which we haven't named yet, hang on, pause the podcast, Jana. Help me name
Amazing.
this drink.
Oh my God. We can't call
Okay.
it the biggest dick.
We kind of could. The original, the thing that this is based on is a Champs-Elysees. Should I call this a Saint Laurent?
Ooh, I like that. That's
Okay,
good.
cool. All right. Rewind. The drink that we're going to make tonight is called a Saint Laurent. It is a play on the lyrics from a Rose Gray song and also on a Champs-Elysees, which is a cognac cocktail. It is herbal and lovely and not that far from like a Vieux Carré if you've had one of those before. I am switching the cognac here for 2 ounces of pisco. I'm adding in a half ounce of fennel liqueur, 3/4 ounces of lime juice, a half ounce of lavender simple syrup, muddled cucumber, a dash of ango bitters, and I'm garnishing with some cucumbers. You basically just shake it all up and then garnish with the cucumbers in whatever glass you'd like, and that's it.
That sounds so good. I did have cocktails in New York, and several of them from the curated bar menus of the summer had cucumber. Must be the flavor of the time.
It's refreshing, is what it comes down to. You know, sticky, humid New York needs
Yep,
refreshments, and cucumber's an easy reach.
totally.
We haven't worked with cucumber on this podcast before, so I did want to do
No,
something with it. And Jana, I am so sorry that this week you were not having the drink because I think this is maybe the best one we've done.
I am going to recover so fast, and I'm going to make it anyway, so it's fine. I'll report.
Amazing.
Um, can I ask what pisco is? I've heard of it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so pisco is, it's kind of a sort of brandy. It is most famously from Chile and Peru. Both of them have different ways of
Okay,
making the pisco. It's most known for pisco sours, which is just,
pisco. Okay,
yeah,
I've heard of that.
pisco and lime and simple syrup, right? But they're delicious.
Right.
They're slightly fruity. They have a definite like grape note to them. Yeah.
That's delightful.
Yeah, really, really lovely. And I don't know. I don't mix with them often because I feel like they get lost sometimes in cocktails. But I think
Interesting.
cucumber is a great way to sort of balance them.
Cucumber's a nice, like you do taste it when it's there, but it's never going to be the strongest thing. Or if it is, I think maybe there's a problem.
My photos, and right now I'm holding it up, you'll see that I have mini cucumbers that I found at the farmer's market.
Oh my
And
God.
a regular cucumber is going to work just fine here, but mini cucumbers are maybe the cutest thing I've ever seen. So if you
Yeah.
can find them, use them and muddle those instead.
That's adorable. Everyone should be farmers marketing more anyway.
Everyone should. I agree.
We need to eat local. We can't eat salad. You know, tiny cucumbers.
At least in New York, it's like, it's not that much more expensive at all. Sometimes it's cheaper to go to the
That
farmer's
makes
market.
sense.
My
Totally.
grocery store has gotten insane. So, farmer's market.
Sign of the times. We were joking. Alex's cocktail, French inspired, Saint Laurent. And then he always names the cocktails after something in the songs or the titles. And since, I mean, I'm just drinking a bitters tonic situation, but I am gonna name mine based on a song title, "The Biggest
Okay.
Dick." Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
what I am drinking today, ladies and gentlemen. The mocktail called "The Biggest Dick." So
Inspired
we're not.
by Amy Shark.
Amy Shark. We are not going to put that recipe in the notes, but you can make your
Honestly,
own.
I think we should. How much cherry juice did you use?
I'm gonna say like a jigger amount. What is that? What is that?
Okay, so like an ounce and a
That.
half.
Yep, thank you.
Okay,
I was
amazing.
oh, I always forget
Okay.
what that number is. I'm like, that one of those. I put in one of those.
I love it. This week, I guess to get to it, we are listening to Charli XCX's Persona, Amy Shark's The Biggest Dick, and Rose Gray's Just Be Bodies. Are we starting with Persona?
We should start with Charli. We've talked about
Oh.
Charli before, but this whole project's out now.
It is. It's
it's
Charli,
Charli
baby.
week.
Okay, let's listen.
Here we go.
Sometimes I wonder if you realize the way you come across. It's kind of crazy. Wish you could be honest about your internal dialogue. It wouldn't faze me. You like the sound of your voice, and I like the sound of mine. Every day you're suffering, but you say you're doing fine. I love the stories you tell, but I can tell when you lie. Don't fucking choke on your ego when you see me coming. I know you're performing, I know that you're hurting, so you try to hide it when you see me coming. Don't wanna confront it, I'm scared, I'm annoying. You call me your best friend to keep me at arm's length. I'd write you a letter, but you'd probably burn it, deflect and then shower me in.
It's Charli.
It's
It's
Charli,
so-
baby.
So very Charli XCX. Did we talked about rock music on a previous episode, right?
You know, I think we did, which was the lead single from this project. Rock Music was a fascinating song. It's also the opener of the album. This song, for me, has the lyrics of a song from Brat, but somehow they're even more blunt.
I enjoyed the writing here. It was,
Yeah?
yeah, blunt is the right word, and also it's very wordy for a Charli song, really.
It is. Do you want to jump into the lyrics first, and then we'll talk production?
Yeah, let's do that. Also, I will say that the album is called Music Fashion Film, and the cover is kind of incredible. And who's on the cover?
Talk to us about the cover.
The cover art, Music Fashion Film, so it's got John Cale, the musician, fashion designer Marc Jacobs, and then filmmaker Martin Scorsese, which is a hell of an album cover, quite honestly, to put out. And Charlie's not on it at all, which I love every single thing about that choice. I don't know.
I love
Great job.
the commentary of that, yes.
Totally. Yeah. Anyway, into the Persona lyrics, which I think tie into what she's doing here. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, Charli XCX on her last album, Brat, sort of went mega viral for Girls So Confusing, which is a song that ended up being about Lorde, right?
Yeah.
And about the difficult relationship, not necessarily between her and Lorde, but between her and her perception of Lorde.
Right.
And how she felt like she was constantly being compared, how they had the same hair, all of these things, right? There's also some commentary in Brat that perhaps could have been about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift could have perhaps written a single about Charlie XCX.
Maybe that all happened.
And then all of this comes out, and it starts with, sometimes I wonder if you realize the way you come across. And I'm not saying it's about Taylor Swift. I actually don't think it is. But man, the way that Charli XCX writes about her relationships with other major pop stars.
I think this is where she shines, and she's really putting a mirror to the discourse versus,
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's not about Taylor, it's not about Lord. It's about the discussion around it. And
Mhm.
also, we all do this. We all um, try to view ourselves from the point of view of other people in our lives, whether it's
Mhm.
right or wrong or whatever. But I can't imagine doing it at the level of pop stars where there's like a few of them. Everyone on the internet is comparing them all the time.
There's like
And
10.
the minute you say one thing in a lyric, everyone's like, that's definitely about Taylor. Oh my God. You know, like
Yeah.
I cannot imagine living like that. So Charlie's really good about writing about it.
It's she's writing about what I think at face value people dismiss as beef, right? She's
Hmm.
writing about really, really complex interpersonal conflict.
And Charlie doesn't need beef. That she's above beef, you know? Like there are diss tracks out there by people, but Charlie's not doing it.
No, I don't think so. And I also thought the discourse around that when Charlie came out with "Sympathy is a Knife,"
Yep.
and it was not about Taylor Swift. It was about Charlie feeling like she was less than, right, in
Yeah.
that situation.
Which is a very human emotion and thought to have and write about. And again, I'm glad she's gutsy enough to do it.
Media literacy is dead, so
Oh
it
my
started this
God.
whole war that only ended up propelling the song even further. But still,
Thank God this podcast is bringing it back one
hell
week at a
yeah.
time.
My favorite line from this song is, "Don't fucking choke on your ego when you see me coming. I know you're performing. I know that you're hurting."
Such a good line.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's such an "I see you, bitch" line.
Hmm. Mine was, you call me your best friend to keep me at arm's length. Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot in a short line that I don't know. Uh, I've had a lot of experiences where people maybe don't want to dig in deeper, so there's ways to like keep people at arm's length, and sometimes that's implying that they're the closest one to you, so they don't ask questions, you
You
know?
can
That's
weaponize
interesting.
that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think it's
totally.
very telling that Charlie clearly has thought enough about this to make it into a pop song.
Yeah.
I really, really love "You Know I See You When You See Me," which is just an interesting way of writing about how maybe someone performing at her level is just a mirror through which she sees herself. Like, that's such
Hmm.
a gnarly feeling.
Do any of us exist at all, Alex?
I think most of us are just reflections of other people, and cultural
Hmm.
moments.
Oh my God.
Have I
Yeah.
ever had have I ever had an original thought? I truly don't know.
I don't think I have. So we just
Yay!
put those together in different ways that are maybe sometimes original. I don't know. It's fun to be
Maybe.
alive, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. I love it so much every day.
Thanks, Charlie. You just set us spiraling.
There's some hyperpop moments in this that remind me of A.G. Cook's kind of passion project, Thy Slaughter. If we want to jump into
Ooh,
production, it's mostly
totally.
just the OTT crunchy guitars that happen throughout this, which are abrasive on purpose. They're not supposed to sound good. I love when pop music isn't supposed to sound good.
Totally. Yeah, there's some detuned moments that I enjoyed.
Again, it's against Charlie's incredibly auto-tuned voice, which again is an aesthetic choice. There's no dig there. But to have something incredibly out of tune against something incredibly in tune, I think is a really interesting choice, especially for this song.
Are there layers of synths too, or is it all just really affected guitars? I cannot
I
tell.
was going to talk about it. There is a synth that's following her through the chorus, and it's
Okay.
this really whiny sine-based
Yes.
synth
Okay.
that's just following the vocal melody through, and it's kind of like portamentoing through it, which I guess if you haven't built a synth and haven't seen port somewhere, is just like sliding between notes.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a really good job of being abrasive.
That's so
I think it
abrasive.
It was a bit of a turnoff on the first listen through the album, which I did start to finish, which I do for projects that I'm excited about. But I did listen through a second time, and it's hitting a little better this time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive the amount of variance to the tones in there with the
Hmm.
guitars and the synths that are all still just that OTT fuzzed out super distort. Like I'm like it's all got the same polish on it, but there's very it's fascinating. Yeah.
Sometimes she will jump octaves in an instrument to get that.
Hmm.
Sometimes she will widen the stereo field to get that difference. But the song itself, you are correct, like is basically the same three chords through and through, just
Totally.
going on a motor over and over. My favorite use of that is in maybe Teenage Dream, which might be embarrassing. But
No,
Teenage
I
Dream
love that
employs
song.
that so well, where it never goes back to the root note, and it just keeps moving forward forever.
I know we don't pay attention to Katy Perry anymore, but still some of the best bangers back then on that record.
Teenage
Anyway,
Dream was one of the best pop albums ever recorded, but I don't think it was because of Katy Perry necessarily.
that happens. That's okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, I really like this song. I picked this one because it was a standout for me on the album. I still have complicated feelings about I don't know what Charlie is trying to say on the album about fame and what makes art and how she relates to it. Um my first listen I was like this is incredibly shallow. My second
Hmm,
listen is some of this is still shallow, but maybe the intent is not in the actual lyrics, but in why she is releasing it. And I think that's the nature of art, right? You have to
right.
understand the artist's intent too. That matters. All this to say, like, it's a it's a sticky album. It's hard to parse.
I am excited to listen to the whole thing because I haven't yet.
Hmm.
I will say that brings up an interesting thought from your monologue when an artist seemingly has sort of unlimited fundage, or I don't know Charlie's position, but I think she could make another record as soon as she wanted to.
She's doing fine.
Um, does that limit or does that lack of limits just make you like if I were making a record right now and I knew it was like the one it was going to carry me for the next like 4 or 5 years, which is what
Hmm.
happens in the folk world sometimes. I'd be like, it has to say it, like everything has to be tight. The
Yeah.
thesis, I have to have a point. What am I going to say for the next 4 years? Versus maybe Charlie's like, this is my record. Then the next one's coming. I don't know.
Well, I think more than anything, I do think that Charlie was like, I can never remake Brat. I think that's a
Mm,
very smart choice. You shouldn't
that is a
try.
great
It's
point.
unless you pivot in the exact opposite direction, which is what she's doing here, you are always going to get compared to that big album that brought in like a million, not a million, like
Oh,
300 million new fans, you know?
Jesus.
Yes. And so I think the pivot here makes a lot of sense. It does feel purposefully alienating in a way I find fascinating and attractive.
Totally. She's always been a rebel, and I believe she's like, get away, a little
Sure, and
bit.
she, I mean, on this album, it's very clear she knows exactly who she is. She makes a lot of jokes about being a diversity hire in a couple of the songs. Like,
I
she's
love
she's
that.
painfully self-aware, and I think that self-awareness is a main factor in how and why this album got made.
Man.
Yeah,
Overall, I just respect the hell out of Charlie, and I think she's a lifer, as I say.
one of the best pop stars of the 2010s and forward. Yeah, one of the most
Exactly.
distinctive too, which is a hard balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Nobody sounds like Charlie XCX, that's for
no
sure.
one sounds like Charlie. Yeah, well, many people try to sound like Charlie, but you picked a song from Amy Shark.
I did. I'm so excited.
I know Amy Shark from her song Adore, which blew up because of Schitt's Creek. I
Yes.
know very little else from Amy Shark. I am so excited to get into this.
Well, we'll listen first, but I'm just gonna preface this by I keep loving Australians, so I'm taking this as a sign.
I have picked like more than 10 UK pop stars in a row, Jana.
See,
I'm going
we're
to keep I
branching
don't
out.
care.
This
I
is my
picked two
hint
more
that
today.
we need to go on tour internationally to the UK
Yes,
and Australia.
we
Anyway,
do. All right, let's
let's
listen to the biggest dick.
First morning in months, didn't think about you once. Got coffee on the way, tastes better today. But as soon as I get on the plane tonight, look out the window, remember everything. You said you felt wasted, yeah, well, I felt used. You can lean on me, I want you to. And I walk through the people with my headphones on. I'm tired and I'm angry and in love. Week 1 was no fun, covered the board but nothing won. 3 months in and I am still crying at the steering wheel. I know how this goes, saddest songs on the radio. 5, 6, pick up sticks, fell in love with the biggest dick.
So last week we reviewed Gracie Abrams, and this week we're reviewing a really good Gracie Abrams song.
I put in my notes when we sent each other little like pitch ideas, and I was like, this record, which Amy Shark's record, it's called Soft Pop. It's out, and this was track 1. But I was like, I wanted, and it feels unfair to compare and be like, I wanted this artist to do this, and this artist did it instead. But this is kind of what I was anticipating out of the Gracie record, and it's what I love about previous Gracie stuff. So Amy Shark is picking up the torch for acoustic folk pop, you know?
Well, it's wordy, confessional, folk pop, with a bit of a 90s bent in terms of the songwriting.
Totally.
And Amy Shark does it great. Yeah, this is a good look on her. I can't believe this is the opening song on the album. That's fun.
Oh, and it's all strong. I listened to it probably 3 or 4 times on the airplane this week, and it plays well as a whole project. Like, it's just so good. It does bleed into, there's a lot of that muted percussive poppy thing going on, but Jana likes, so I was thrilled.
That is a palm muted acoustic guitar playing all the way through, right? It's obviously guitar. It is palm muted.
Totally. A really chunky palm muted thing. Very, very folk pop, and it
It's
leads
great.
into folk a little bit, but
It's well recorded. I love
sounds
the sound
great.
of the guitar in this song. The 4-on-the-4 that comes in is nice and like thumpy.
satisfying. My favorite, the thing that made me, I think this was a first single, so it came out a while ago, and it was in my Apple queue or something, and I finally got around to it, and it's that low guitar riff, the da-la-la-la, that repeats and repeats, but when it first comes in, it's so hooky, and it's so just a delightful reverby melodic hook, and you don't hear that used in pop very much right now. It's all synths and stuff.
No, is that a baritone guitar that's
I-
playing, or is it just a lower guitar riff?
Great question. I was like, it sounds baritone to me, you know.
It sounds like a baritone to me.
Or it could be
although
a
I am not.
drop D tune guitar or something. I should mess with that.
Maybe you are the resident guitar expert here. If you need violin expertise, you've got me.
We've got all the strings covered, guys.
I like the line 5, 6 pickup sticks, fell in love with the biggest dick.
Mm-hmm.
The way that she says dick with an emphasis on the D is doing so much in terms of the production of the hook. Like it can't be overstated. She leans into the
She
dick,
really does.
you know? And I love that. I think it works really, really well. It's very emotional.
And I love that whole chorus, it's sung in a nursery rhyme thing, and 5, 6 pickup sticks makes you.
Yeah, it's like 2 notes.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, she is singing a nursery rhyme, and it ends with the line, the biggest stick. It's perfect.
The song is only 2 minutes and 43 seconds, so we
Insane.
don't actually have that much to say about it, but it's a really, really strong song. If you like Gracie Abrams, like, there's no reason why you wouldn't like this. And I do think that one of the things that I had not necessarily seen Amy Shark do was like cultivate a personality within her music. Like Adore is a great song, but I wonder if she didn't struggle to figure out, like, okay, I have this huge success.
Yeah.
What do I do with it next, right?
Absolutely.
And I think this is a good answer to that.
It's-
right? Like this feels like it has a point of view.
It's holding up. There's another one. I think it's called Child of Divorce in the record, and it's also excellent. Also, there's another track. It's the song called Our Last Fight, and she actually name checks Gracie and Taylor, like complimentary. She's like, I'm going to go home and listen to Gracie and Taylor, which I thought was funny because I was like, girl, way to outshine a couple, you know? Amy Shark. She probably says shock.
Amy Shark.
I can't do an Australian accent. I just embarrass myself.
I can do a really offensive Australian accent,
I know.
but I prefer not to. All right, the next person that we are reviewing is Rose Gray, also a Brit, I need to preface with I didn't previously really enjoy Rose Gray's stuff.
Okay. This is my first time, so I have no preconceived notions.
She was on a big single called Attention with Kesha a little while back.
Okay.
And that was okay. But she had an album, and the album was like okay, but felt kind of like scattershot pop.
Right.
I that sounds insulting. I don't mean it to be. But like I hadn't seen her do something really incredible, right? I saw this pop up on a friend's Instagram, my friend Chaps, who is an amazing Americana artist. Oh my God. You should listen to his new album. We'll throw something in the playlist.
Please.
But he posted the song we're about to listen to, and I was blown away. It's a double single. Both songs are amazing and so distinctive and so different, and I cannot wait for this album release.
You sent this one as a suggestion. I was like halfway through, and I was like, yes, we have to talk about this.
All right, so let's listen to Just Be Bodies.
Before we talk ourselves to death, can we just be bodies? Please. Your lips met mine on the central line. Right before you awkwardly said goodbye, the automatic doors closed and I did my best not to cry. I don't even drive, but I'll drive to you. I don't usually fight, but I'll fight for you. Everybody dies, but before we do, I wanna make love to you. So come to me, come to me, come.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a dance song, it's a club song. It feels really up, but it also feels like polite and charming in a way that I find really interesting. It's quite a niche.
And fairly sexy is not the word, sensual maybe. I don't know, just the
Pretty sensual.
hook line
Yeah.
is so good. Before we talk ourselves to death, can we just be bodies? Like that just makes me want to exhale. I'm like, what a sentence, you know?
A couple weeks back, I brought up that Donna Missile song, "Sex is good, but have you tried?" And the lyrics to that are, "Sex is good, but have you tried fucking with yourself? I could tell you what it's like, but better you find out." And there's this genre of pop songs that's like, let's just figure out how we feel in our own weird little bodies and go from there. And this is a great contribution to that subgenre.
So good.
The vocal chops here, which I'm usually pretty critical of vocal chops, work incredibly well. It doesn't sound like everything else.
I love it. Yeah, it serves as a percussive note. It serves as a melody line in the intro. It's so good.
And there's really interesting panning happening on it. So sometimes it's more foreground, sometimes it's really, really wide in the mix.
Right.
I really love that. The bass line here I find fascinating, where it's like, you know, it's a 16th note pattern that's basically just the same throughout. It's almost atonal.
I was like, I put 2 chords, question mark. There's not a ton going on back there, but it doesn't bother me. It's good.
It works the entire way through and never gets grating either, which I think is hard when something is samey for that long. And this is a standard issue, 3-minute, 30-second pop song.
Yep.
So it could be annoying, but it's not, and I think that's cool. And then the intervals that she's using in the melody of the chorus, where she's going from that the root note up to the 6th, back to the root, and then up to 5. I feel like that, I don't know, that pattern is not commonly used in hooks, but I think it really works
It
here.
works so well. Like, it's just pleasing to the ear, and her voice is so good.
It's soft but not breathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also love the percussion here. What did you like?
All of it. I love the line, "I don't even drive, but I'll drive to you," which if you're a city person, that's a really strong declaration of love.
It means a lot.
It means a lot. And then the pre-chorus, I think, is what I'm going to call it. So come to me, come to me. Like, it's a very repetition, but it really builds up into the chorus so well, in the way she sings it, and I can't sing it. It's fast.
Come to me, come to me, come to me.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
It's a jam.
That. Yeah, no, it's great. And it's like, Suddenly you start hearing her match the tempo of the song, and she's almost hitting the same beats that the drum is, and that's great.
Yes.
And then in the chorus, it just
It
opens
just
up,
everything.
and it just lets her soar.
Yeah, most stuff drops out so she can make her point. Like before we overthink it,
Mhm.
let's just be. You know, it's beautiful.
This was a double single, and the other one released was Club to Your Arms, and I really struggled between which one I wanted to throw into the mix. But if you like this song, Club to Your Arms is similar in terms of dance pop, but it's very, very ABBA inspired. I'll throw it in the playlist. It is fantastic.
Can I share something I highlighted on our Wikipedia? It
Yeah.
it plays into our chat earlier at the beginning of the pod where you just have to be brave and ask. Gray admitted that she had messaged Demi Lovato on Instagram asking to be on the remix of her song Joshua Tree since it was Gray's favorite from the record. After no reply for months, Lovato responded by inviting her onto the song as she was a fan of Gray's. You got to shoot your shot in the DMs, everybody. That's what you got to do.
Yes, I should start doing that more.
Yeah, totally. Just
I think that's the moral of this episode is
mhm,
like, if you're worried about asking someone, ask them.
mhm. What's the worst that can happen? They won't read your message on Instagram. That's fine.
It's crushing, but you'll survive, I promise. Any final thoughts on production
Oh,
here?
I just loved it. I'm excited to listen to what else she's put out. And this is a two-sided single essentially, not an album.
Yeah, but there's an album
Good.
coming. Yes, I'm sure we'll report on it again.
We made it.
Jana, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Alex. It was a fun threesome this time. Should I say that? Is that
Very dancey, very
yeah.
good. I think Charlie and Rose would be cool with it. Yeah.
Threesome's the perfect word for that. You're right. All right.
Yeah. All right. Bye
Thanks
everybody.
for listening. See you next time.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Mixomusicology. It's a labor of love from two working musicians, and we're so honored to have you along for the ride. If you like what we do, consider sharing this episode or the podcast more broadly on socials and rating us on whatever app you're using to listen. Have a new music suggestion? Have thoughts on a song we reviewed? Reach out to us on socials. We'd love to hear from you. See you next week.